Scott, thanks very much for coming on the very first DoCast on the Perth DoCast YouTube channel. It's a real pleasure to have you on, and we're looking forward to talking to you about your career and how you got into the game and everything, which is where we're going to start. So first question, how did you get into the game of cricket? Was it through a club, your school, your family?
I think my dad always played, so I have an older brother who's 2 years older than me. And
Right.
ever since we were young, we used to always go down and watch my dad play. So we kind of always brought up in and around cricket. So we went down to watch him on a Saturday, and then I think I got to about 6, 7, and I went down at my local club just to try out Sunday sessions, and just enjoyed it and went through the age groups at club cricket. And I think every year, I think your club puts forward a few players to go for trials at like your county. And I got trials at Durham at the time and progressed through the age groups at Durham into the first team.
Right. And which club was that, Scott?
Durham City Cricket Club. My brother still plays there now, and I played a bit for them last year.
Right.
So I've always been there and go down and watch still. And my brother is captain of the first team there, so it's still quite a close club.
Great. So what did you find easiest to begin with, batting or bowling? What was your?
I think I was pretty hopeless at both of them. I used to be a wicketkeeper as well when I was younger.
Right.
I think when you're young, you try everything, don't you? You bowl a bit of seam, you bat, you keep, you bowl a bit of spin, you field. I think I've always enjoyed batting more. And like I said, I used to be a wicketkeeper when I was younger, and then stopped doing that maybe when I was like 14, and then became an off spinner as well.
Uh-huh. And when did you realise that cricket was going to be a career for you?
I don't think I realised until quite late on. You always have your dream of playing professional cricket and representing your county and your country. But I think I used to play basically just with my mates, and used to get a day off school to play county stuff. So I'd play county stuff, and then I think I got into the academy maybe 16, 17. I was in and around the academy. And then I played a second team game, and then it wasn't until I think 2 years ago I made my debut. So I think up until I made my debut and played a few first team games, that's when I realised I could actually make something of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was just asking the next one really, Scott, did you have sort of any main inspirations from an early age? Did you sort of look up to anybody as a youngster, maybe a fellow captain, teammate, coach, that sort of thing?
I think maybe just my dad and my brother. I used to always go watch my dad from a young age, and me and my brother would always play, just me and him, either on the side of the pitch, on the pitch at lunch, in the garden. And because he's older, I never wanted him to get me out, and I always wanted to get him out because he was the older one, and I wanted to prove to him that I was good enough. So I think probably just playing with them too, and that led me in good stead for if I can get my brother out, then hopefully I can get people my age out.
Was that a lot of games of cricket in the garden then, Scott?
Yeah, we used to play a lot, to be fair. But there used to be balls in people's gardens, the things would be broke in the garden, so mum and dad wouldn't really be too happy. But it was all good fun.
I guess it's a good thing to sort of like see who can get the best out of each other from an early age, and then growing up, sort of thing. So
I think I benefited from it more than him. Obviously, he was just playing with his little brother and trying to get his little brother out and trying to bowl bounces every ball and get him out. But it was good fun, and I still go down the nets now when I'm home, and I'll bowl at him or sidearm at him, and he'll bowl at me, and we'll try to get each other out and stuff like that. So yeah.
So you're quite competitive between the two of you?
Yeah, I think it was the same as everything. Like football, I'd try to score past him and he'd try to score past me, and slide tackle each other. And I think it just came to everything. We'd always try do up on the other one and try to be better than him.
Yeah. Just because you're 21, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering, all the talk there is at the moment about having Test cricket on terrestrial TV. We just had the India-England series on, of course. I'm just wondering how much of a part the 2005 Ashes played for you Was that an inspiration for you? Did you watch it at all? Do you remember it?
I think I've watched more of it as I've got older. I think I'll have been 6 when it happened. So I wouldn't remember much of it then. But you see, nowadays, you see all the highlights and you watch it, and it was a big moment for cricket. And especially last year as well, or 2019, sorry, when England won the World Cup and the Ashes as well in the same year at home. Sorry. I think yeah, it will have didn't as much have a massive impact on me because I was young and you kind of really took for granted how good it was until maybe a later age last year or so. I've realised how much of a good year that was and how much of a big impact on people's cricket it was.
Yeah, presumably. I mean, have you spoken to Steve Harmison, Paul Collingwood, people around the Durham club about it? Or?
No, I've never really spoke to them about it. Just watched it on TV, and it's always replayed on Sky, isn't it? So
yeah, quite a bit.
Sure.
Yeah.
The one question I was going to ask you, Scott, was, I mean, what's the sort of mindset that you have when you come up to a net session as a batsman, as an opening batsman yourself? What's the sort of mindset that you go through from time to time leading up to a net session? During a net session and after it as well. What sort of goes through your head at that point?
I think, well, it depends on what format it is. I think in the winter, it's about trying new things and maybe ironing out a few things, or maybe bringing in a new part of your game to try and get better for the next season. But I think during the season, it's just trying to feel bat on ball and make sure you feel good, ready for the games leading up.
Do you worry too much about? Do you worry at all about getting out in the nets, or it's just a question?
Nah, not really. You've probably already seen I play quite a lot of silly shots, so I'm bound to get out a lot of times in the nets, and especially, that I often get bowled quite a bit doing that as well. But yeah, I don't try to worry too much, because I think if I get out and then start worrying about it, I end up going in a mood, and then the net session just goes downhill from there.
Right. So it's just about getting sort of a feel for your shots and getting confidence.
Yeah, I feel sometimes you won't even realise you might not get out, and you come out of the net session thinking, oh, I feel quite good here. I've hit quite a few off the middle of the bat. And then you obviously have them net sessions where you get out 2-3 times and you feel like you've never picked up a cricket bat before and you just doubt yourself. But I try not to think about it too much.
I think we can all relate to that for sure. That kind of feeds into our next question. What's going through your mind when you're walking out to the wicket in a match? What are you thinking or trying to think?
Again, I don't really try to think too much about it. I feel if I'm thinking about too many things, I know I'm not going to do that well. So if I'm worrying about where my feet go, or thinking about who the bowler is, or thinking about if I'm going to get out, then I know that it'll only be a matter of time before I do get out. But I feel if I have a clear head and just go out and not really think about anything and just play naturally and use your instincts, I feel I do a lot better that way.
Mm-hmm. And the same when you're coming on to bowl, the same approach.
Yeah, pretty much. I think maybe you just think about your field and how you're going to get the batter out. Sorry, and or the way how you're going to prevent him scoring runs, which might lead to a wicket at the other end. But apart from that, I don't really like to overcomplicate it too much.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. Scott, we've got a lot of youngsters at our club, a lot of talented, promising youngsters wanting to sort of reach their next goal in their cricketing journeys, whether that's to play for regionals or even for Scotland maybe one day. What sort of advice could you give to all these youngsters who might be watching this video when it goes up? That one piece of crucial advice going forward in their cricketing journeys.
I just think you're obviously playing it because you enjoy it, and you get to play with your friends. And even if you're not doing so well, don't try to dwell on it too much. Just try to stay relaxed and really have a goal. And if you set yourself a goal and work hard, I don't see why you can't reach it. If playing for Scotland's your goal, or playing county cricket, or both, if you put the work in and train, have a good chance of doing it.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Because I mean, we've got about, I would say, 10, maybe more juniors who are playing regionals at the moment, and they're always wanting to learn, the little bits, and then to more technical, more advanced things going forward when they get older. So it's good to see that, yourself, who's still a young bloke, going forward in their career, and I guess for yourself personally, trying to play for Scotland one day is something that we talked about, I guess, together back in October time, on the pod. But yeah, I mean, that's just anyone's dream, isn't it? Trying to play for their country one day in the future, going forward.
Yeah, everyone's dreams to play for the country and play at the highest level possible. And international cricket, you can't get much higher than that. Like you said, hopefully in the not so near future, I'd like to represent Scotland and have a crack at that, and hopefully do well. And just got to keep working hard and try to get runs and performances when I can, really.
Yeah, you were in the Scotland training camp in La Manga last year, weren't you? Was that last year?
Yeah, we went to La Manga. I think it was March last year. I think there was about 20 of us went. And then they had a pretty busy season planned. I think they had New Zealand and Australia come over, and then the World Cup was at the end of that year. But obviously, because of COVID, I think we came back from La Manga, and maybe not even a week after that's when everything happened, and everything was on lockdown, and I think the whole season got wiped out, really.
Yeah, really frustrating for you. How do you qualify for Scotland, Scott? What's your connection?
My dad was born in Motherwell.
Uh-huh.
So he grew up there, and he came over here when he was about 10, 11. And basically I already knew Kyle Kurtzer, the captain. And I just, a few of the lads at Durham were saying, look, you qualify for Scotland, why don't you let them know? And I always kind of brushed it off, thinking like, well, why would they want to pick me? They're never really going to pick me. And then I did all right in the T20 stuff for Durham 2 years ago. And I thought, well, I haven't really got anything to lose. I may as well text Kyle and just say, look, I'm eligible. How do I go about it? And he's helped me along the way, just helped me get my qualification through with Shane Berger, the coach, and just waiting now to hear back, really.
Mm-hmm. So you'd really like to take that forward then, and
Yeah,
play for
yeah.
Scotland in the future.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, that'd be great. Obviously, so you've made a move from Durham to Leicestershire.
Yeah.
With the county cricket, what made you choose Leicestershire?
I think I had a few talks with Leicester. With Nico rang me a few times, and just the way the coaching staff and chief exec were taking Leicester forward was a direction I wanted to go in, and something I wanted to be a part of. They signed quite a lot of players, and a lot of the lads re-signed their contracts, which is a good sign because people are wanting to be at the club. And I think we've got a really good chance this year in all three formats. And I just thought it would be the right move for myself to progress my career.
Mm-hmm. Will you be playing mainly white ball cricket or both?
Yeah, I think mainly white ball. I'd like to play red ball as well. But they've got such a good, strong side. It's quite hard to get into. Hopefully, if I get a few performances, then might get picked in the red ball stuff. But they've got such a strong side, and if they start winning games, I'd rather the team win games and then just be picked, I guess.
Yeah, and they've got a couple of big additions coming along soon. Marcus Harris is joining, of course, from Victoria, and Josh English is coming as well from West
I think he comes in May.
Sorry, who comes in May? Sorry,
Afghani as well. I think Harris comes over in May because
right.
I think he's going to play all three formats. I think they signed an Afghan lad, Naveem ul Haq Abola, and Josh English for the T20 Blast.
Yeah, so that's pretty exciting. Obviously, you're looking forward to playing with players of that ability, that caliber.
Yeah, it's always good. Overseas coming in, and you get to tap into their experience. They've played Big Bash and they've played in Australia, and it's just good to feed off them and get their knowledge on their game and see how they go about playing cricket as well.
Mm-hmm. And then in the white ball cricket, I believe you're going to be opening the batting or pushing to open the batting in both competitions, the one day and
yeah, hopefully, yeah.
Is that where you see yourself more of an opening bat than a middle order bat?
I think so. Yeah, just last couple of years I've opened, and I think it's suited me quite well. And hopefully that's where I bat best and do best for the team, really.
Mm-hmm. And what
That's
about your objectives for the season? Do you set objectives? Is it important, do you think, to set them, or can that sometimes be more of an obstacle than a help?
I think they can be good, can be bad, because sometimes you can focus too much on them and then get distracted from actually just playing and enjoying your cricket, because you'll be worrying too much about a goal you've set. If you're not anywhere near it, you'll be worrying too much about that than actually just going about your business and playing cricket.
Mm-hmm.
What's it like having Paul Nixon as a coach?
Yeah, it's been good. I didn't know him before the move, and he reached out to me a few times and said they'd be interested, which was a good sign because it meant that they were actually wanting to sign me. And I've done quite a lot over the winter with him, and just the knowledge he has, and he likes to keep things simple. If you're struggling with batting or bowling, he likes to really go back to the basics and just strip it down and really nail your basics, and all the rest comes really. But I found him really helpful, and he's obviously had a great career himself. Leicester have won the Blast 3 times, and he won all 3 of them as a player. So I think that speaks volumes in itself.
Mm-hmm.
What are you hoping to achieve with Leicestershire over the next few years or so going forward?
Hopefully win tournaments and win medals with them. I think we've got a really good chance this year. They came close last year in the T20 comp, and I think this year they'll be up there. Got such a strong side, and especially with the overseas coming in as well. I don't see why we can't be up there.
Yeah,
I guess just obviously coming back to Paul, I mean, it's good to see that obviously a lot of coaches in the professional sort of era, if you like, are still keeping to the basics, still trying to make sure that the basics are done well leading up to any competition or any game. And to have a player like yourself who's only 21, I mean, it's great for any club, really, if I'm being brutally honest. So, because a lot of players now, they'll be well in their 30s, they'll be getting to that stage where they'll soon be retiring over the next few years or so, maybe less, maybe more, depending on what the situation is. But it's good to see that they're signing guys like you with lots of prospects in you going forward, your cricketing journey. So, yeah,
I think we've got a good balance. We've got quite a lot of young players, and then we've got quite a lot of experience in there as well. Chris Wright, Gav, got quite a few of the older blokes that have been around a while, and it helps keep a healthy balance because you can sit and tap into their knowledge and see how they've gone about the last 10, 15 years of their career.
Mm-hmm. Are you have they been working on the ground fielding, Scott? Because they came close last time. A couple of mistakes in the crucial game against Nottinghamshire, who went on to win it, which is a bit frustrating for the fans.
Yeah, no, everyone's been working hard in all 3. They've been fielding, batting, bowling, and the fitness. I think they're the fittest they have been, and the fielding's probably the best they have been as well.
Mm-hmm. Just taking it back to club cricket, how important is it, do you think, for club teams to work on their fielding and fitness and those kind of things? Because that's an area that we're trying to work on in particular.
Yeah, I think it's massively important because you don't only just win games with the bat and the ball. I think fielding, if you can get that run out or that direct hit, or even a bit better ground fielding wise, you're gonna go for less runs because there'll be less boundaries if the fielders are stopping them instead of diving over them or taking their catches. I think it all helps, doesn't it? I don't think it can harm being better at all 3 of them.
And I just wanted to go back to the work you've been doing with Paul Nixon, because you put a video up on your Twitter feed a few days ago of you in the nets. I presume that was with Paul, was it?
Yeah, that was I think that one was when we did some power hitting. Just after Christmas. Yeah. So that was good fun. You got to just try it as far as you could.
Yeah, it looked to me like you've got a very uncomplicated kind of setup. Is that
Yeah.
a fair way to describe it?
Yeah, I think I've changed it quite a bit. I've changed it quite a bit from last year. My hands were all quite lower and my balance was all over the place. So I relied on my hands quite a lot to get me out of trouble. But this year, Nico and Dips, the other coach, just tried to stay a bit more upright and a bit more balanced, which lets me hit the ball more powerfully because I'm in a better balanced position.
Is that something then that you would advise for a younger player then, say our juniors, you know, if they're going to hit the nets, just hit through the ball and not think about it too much?
Yeah, I think they've got to find what's best for them, but just basically keeping your head still and hitting through the line of the ball, you can't really go wrong from there.
Yeah,
that's
good
good.
advice.
What's sort of been your schedule like, Scott? You know, since we spoke, you know, last time, which was back in October now, it seems longer than that, but what's been your sort of schedule on a weekly basis from time to time? How much stuff are you doing in terms of training by yourself or with your teammates, or what's been happening since then?
It's been quite all over the place, really, because you've only been allowed in so many days, and I think before Christmas we were only in two half days a week, and then it went to 3, and then obviously leading up to the season we're now in, I think, 4 days a week, and the games are just around the corner, aren't they? So we've basically been all over. Gone from 1 to 4 days a week, and then a couple of days off, and been back outside for the last 2 or 3 weeks as well. So that's been good.
Yeah, I bet.
Very good.
You want it to be a bit warmer though. It's a bit chilly at the moment playing cricket.
Yeah, it was nice last week. Last week was like 20 odd degrees, and then this week it snowed.
Yeah, it's been snowing up here too. Yeah. No, wow, you can tell it's the start of the cricket season if it's snowing. It's always the way. Yeah. So, Ali, you got any more questions, or should we get onto the quick fire ones?
Yeah, just one final one for me, I guess. It's just for, obviously, because we have the seniors will be back training with us next week, and the juniors, I think, will be at the end of the month, I believe. So what sort of tip or advice can you give to players, just like in terms of practice at home? What sort of things they could try to do from now until the time they go back to training?
I think just practice the things they're good at and basically have a plan for the season. If it's a new ball they want to practice, or a new shot, or maybe just trying to leave more balls and bat longer. Hopefully everyone will be pretty keen for cricket now because they've been off since end of the season. So hopefully they'll all come raring to go, really, won't they?
Yeah, for sure.
Actually, just on that, Scott, it kind of interests me. You know, there's a lot of short form cricket played these days. Guys just go out and tee off. But how important is it to have a good defensive game? Is that something that you work on as much as you work on your power hitting, or it's not?
Yeah, I think it is, because as silly as it sounds, really the aim of the game in all 3 formats is to keep out the good balls and hit the bad balls, innit? If you're playing longer format cricket, or even on a Saturday with a red ball, if it's swinging a little bit and the bowling good balls, you need to have a solid defense, and you need to be in the right mind whether you're going to leave it or play it, not be in 2 minds to be able to build your innings. So I think it's massively important. If you can't keep out the good balls with a solid defense, then you're not really going to bat that long, are
you? Yeah, good advice. I like to play, the odd defensive shot, so it's a big part of my game, I suppose. Anyway, we're gonna finish off with some quickfire questions. So just basically, first thing that comes into your head. So, number 1, favorite film?
Step Brothers.
Sorry?
Step Brothers.
Step Brothers.
Yeah.
Great movie, that.
Oh, not seen it. Okay, never mind. Probably have to see it. Sporting hero?
Ben Stokes.
Ben Stokes. Good choice. Favorite YouTube channel or video?
I don't really have one, I don't think.
No. Okay. Hardest player to play against?
James Anderson.
How did you get on against him?
Not great.
Not great. Okay, enough said. Your go-to shot when you're batting,
Probably the scoop or the switch hit.
right? And your stock ball when you're bowling,
Just off spinner.
off stump. Someone to bat for your life,
Oh, someone to bat for my life. Ben Stokes,
someone to bowl for your life.
James Anderson.
I think most people would say Jimmy, yeah. Best cricket commentator,
Michael Holden.
right? And last one, best teas on the county circuit.
Oh, Lords. You get a full 3-course meal and
Really?
it's outstanding, really, yeah.
What kind of stuff do you get?
Oh, all sorts. Like anything you could think of. It's like being in a restaurant.
Really?
You just have a menu to pick from and a drink of your choice, like soft drink or water, a little dessert, all sorts.
Really? So like, what, on most county grounds, is that like club cricket then? Is it much better in terms of teas, or?
It's the same, really. You just have your set meal, and obviously they're a bit healthier than club cricket. Sandwiches and cakes and sausage rolls and pies, aren't there? So yeah, not as good as club cricket teas.
Yeah, that question actually came from one of the guys. Can you ask him where the best teas are? So it's a bit of a topic. We're always talking about it. The best teas in Scotland. Apparently, it's Arbroath in Scotland. Their teas are really good. So
They are. Yeah.
So Lords it is then. Right, Scott. Thanks very much for coming on and talking to us. Really appreciate it.
No problem.
And we hope everything goes
Thanks,
well
Tommy.
for the season. And you score lots of runs and take lots of wickets, and maybe Leicestershire can pick up a trophy or two,
Thank you.
Yeah.
which would be great.
Cheers, Scott. Appreciate it, mate.